Can't hear it. Oh, I can hear it. I don't like
Welcome
it.
to being a bass drummer on that one.
So that first sound was his mouth, and that second sound was his wrist, and that's his mouth again.
That's my jaw popping.
Specifically.
And this is my wrist popping.
That one hurt a little bit. Sounded like it hurt.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah!
That's quite an intro. So today, for this episode, we are going to be discussing photography and why it is much harder than you think it is. I don't know how much. I think Chris has maybe asked some questions. I don't know if he has anything to add, but we were requested this topic specifically by a friend of mine named Leslie, and she's a pretty cool girl, so I wanted to honor her request and take this topic. So, she just said photography in general, in general.
Oh, good.
Nice one.
I'm just fucking everything up.
She said photography in general, but I'm going to do why it is harder than you... Stop. So I'm going to do it on why it's harder than you think it is. You specifically. Oh, my phone kept connecting and disconnecting to my computer. It was going... over and over. It's pissing me off. Anyway. Pissing me off.
It didn't bring the pickup and it's pissing me off.
If you're going to talk, you're going to need to be closer to the mic than that. Because it just sounds echoey and not good. He's like sprawled across 3 chairs. Perfect.
That was harder than it needed to be.
So, the first thing I wanted to talk about is it's not a cheap hobby at all.
Oh, I already knew that.
At all. It's not cheap.
Mr. GoPro. Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. Just for example, I have a spending problem, you could say. But it's only with, like, camera equipment or audio equipment, which I don't know why, but I just love spending money on that. Shit.
I have a spending problem. I will buy way outrageous expensive headphones, decide I don't like them, and then buy another totally overly expensive pair of headphones.
Oh, yeah. But I do it with camera equipment, and I bought, I didn't buy my DSLR. That was for Christmas, but I bought my GoPro. I bought my Bloggie, which is like my first ever camera that I bought, a dedicated video. And then after that, I bought my GoPro. And then I bought a Canon Vixia Mini, which was specifically for vlogging. Basically, it was made for it. But because it's a Canon, it was over $300. And so, just with those cameras, the Bloggie was like $130, the GoPro was $400, and the Canon was over $300. So right there, that's $800 that I've spent on camera equipment. But I did a vlog about this a while ago. The Canon was so cool, and I loved it. But I realized that was an exorbitant amount of money that I paid for, and it was like really close for me leaving to college, and so I need that money to, live. So I returned that camera and got my money back. Anyway, I just said that because I have experience with camera equipment, and I've done photography before, and I thought this would be a cool topic, and I'm glad she suggested this. So, first of all, it is not an expensive hobby. It's really, a lot of people get confused because photography, they think if you buy a nice camera, you'll have nice pictures, which is not true. It takes a good eye, which is a big part of it. And more importantly than the body itself and how big, like megapixels-wise, the sensor is, it's more about how good the glass is, like the lens. And good lenses are like above $500 a piece, like nice ones that'll get really great pictures. So that's part of it. And then the other hardest part is just training your eye, because you have to be able to see things and get cool angles that no one else will be able to get, which is almost impossible because there's so many people out there doing the same thing. You have to find some way to make your stuff different. So, yeah, it's way harder than you think it is. There's so many rules, and even after you take the pictures, like the color correction and Photoshop and all that, there's so much to it. But I absolutely love it. It's relaxing because you have to think really hard about it. It's so much fun.
I think I'd stress myself out over it.
It's great because there's nothing like
kill yourself.
It's nothing like putting your camera in full manual mode and like tuning in the ISO just perfectly. But that's something I talk about. I can explain to you what that means. ISO, I don't know what it stands for. No one knows what the fucking abbreviation is. ISO is how sensitive the sensor is to light. The aperture is how open it is to the sensor. The shutter is how quick it opens and closes to let however much light in, and stuff like that. And you have to know that, and you have to know like the setting. Like, oh well, it's 3 in the afternoon. It's pretty bright outside. I may need to drop that down or close it up. Whatever. There's so much going on in like a photographer's head, and I'm not like talking about myself because I think about those things, but I'm not a professional by any means. But there's so much going on in professional photographers' heads. It is crazy. And there is a guy on YouTube. His company is Fronos Photo because he has a big ass afro. And he does these basically podcast things, but they're videos, and they're called Raw Talk. You shut up out there. There's somebody yelling at me. How's it going?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. I just said shut up to a cop. They were yelling out there. I was like, hey, you better shut up out there. And then a cop walked in. I was like, oh shit. I hope you didn't hear that, officer. Anyway. Do what? No, I didn't. Looked like they're looking for somebody. Man, I hear yelling. Our producer's on the case.
We should totally not edit this out.
No, definitely not.
Thanks.
But you get to go to like all these cool places, and what my favorite part about the GoPro is you can put it anywhere and get really unique shots, which is really sweet.
I want a GoPro.
You should buy one.
Don't have $400 to buy a camera.
You should buy one anyway.
Thanks.
You can buy mine for $400. $375.
So much better. That's a bargain.
It's a deal.
Why would you want to sell it?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to sell it.
But for $375, you'd sell it?
No.
No? Good.
No, for like $4,000.
I'm currently saving up for some headphones.
Again, nice.
Like the ones that Chesley has.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. The headphones that he has, they're really good quality. They're like $200. But they're a little bit cheaper than the studios that you have. But they're like, it's really crisp, and for like recording, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
There it is. So I talked about photography. You have any questions? I'm not an expert.
What has been your favorite experience while making a shot?
Well, for my senior project, I did a stop motion. I don't know if that's what you
Lego?
were asking or not. Yeah, like with Legos.
Yeah. What's your favorite time taking pictures or a single picture? Like, what's your favorite picture?
My favorite picture is of my car at sunset. Putting it on like a mountain. It's awesome. It's so pretty. It's great.
What was your favorite time taking pictures?
My favorite time, probably the stop motion. I did do a wedding with a friend of mine. That was crazy. We got way underpaid for that, but it was some like redneck hick wedding it was like, they weren't hicks. That's a little harsh. But it was very southern. And it was like in some church in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. I have no idea where I'm surprised the GPS even knew where the hell we were.
How much did you get paid for it?
It was like $100 a piece. Like 150.
That is really low.
It is. Because people don't understand how much time and effort goes into it. That's a funny story. So we were like, it's all dependent on lighting, and lighting makes great photography. So we went back, we got there, first of all, we went and did a practice shoot before the wedding. And then the day of the wedding, we went there like 2 hours early to set up everything that we wanted to get done correctly. Actually, I think it was like 4 hours early. We got there super fucking early. And we set up the church lights just how we wanted them. And if you've ever been inside a church, you know the lights in there are not great anyway. So
if you've ever been to a church, you should know
how horrible the lights are, and especially if you're a photographer, they are the worst. So we got them fixed exactly how we wanted, and we got our cameras to respond perfectly, just the way we wanted. And it was like 10 or 15 minutes before the ceremony was supposed to start, and this like old guy that worked for the church or something, he just like, I saw him like stand up from a pew, like when we were still doing like test shots. And like hobbled back to where all the lights were and just like put them, like, ramped them all up, just changed, like, turned them all to the maximum so everyone could see. I mean, it wasn't, like, dark, but he just, like, flipped them all up. And we both, her name was Tana, my partner, we looked at each other and we're like, oh my god. And then we, like, looked at that guy and he was like, alright, like, hobbled back to his seat and sat down. And, like, we went to the manager or whatever that was over the wedding. It was like, can you, like, not let anybody mess with lights, please? Because this is completely crucial to what we're doing. So that was really, really shitty. And we got underpaid, and it was a bunch of old people, and it smelled weird. I have a problem with how old people smell. Yeah. I don't like it. But that's all I have to say about photography. It's really hard, and people don't appreciate it. It's an unappreciated art. Because people think they can just take it with their phones, and it's not the same kind of thing.
Not the same.
It's not the same. And I have a buying problem with cameras. So, on that note, I think we're going to end it, and we have one more to do after this. So, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy your day, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Swagger doodle.